Welcome, my friend, to the Chef Lance Show. And the question today is, what do you do when your garden or farmer's market gives you too many tomatoes? Well, you turn it into spiced tomato jam. We're going to make this today on the Chef Lance Show, so join me around the corner as we cook this thing. So to begin with, I'm going to take my canning jars and put them in the oven. I like to sterilize them in the oven. They have been dishwashered, is that a word? Machine washed, and at the very hottest cycle. Now I'm going to sterilize them. I'm going to turn this to convection bake, and I am going to turn this to about 250 degrees. And that'll be warming and then sterilize things while we're making the tomato jam. So this is a very convenient way to do that. All right, thanks a lot. Okay, now we want to take our peeled tomatoes and all the juice, and we want to put it in the bowl. I'm going to grab my handy dandy mash and chop. This tool is so handy. I got a link for it in the description below. Man, this is perfect for ground meat of any kind. Fruits like this tomato I'm mashing and chopping. This is perfect. Now I'm just going to mash all this up. I will come in with this periodically and just kind of go over it again. But as we heat this up, that's going to help the fruit to break down a little bit. Okay, now, if you don't have a mix and chop, you can simply use your knife, and we're just going to chop these tomatoes. Remember, these have already been peeled. I use the blanching method. There's a video for that. I also cored them while I was at it. And so you just chop it up like this. Put those in. All right, once you have the tomatoes in the pan, you want to bring them up to a simmer. I've just got this up to a light boil, high simmer. I'm going to turn it down so it simmers. But remember, as you're cooking this, that we're not trying to cook it down and thicken it that way. What I do want to do is I want to cook it a little bit, and I do want to reduce it some. So what I'm doing is starting it now on a low simmer. What's important to remember is that you need to stir occasionally, and I'm going across the bottom of the pan as well to prevent scorching, burning. One of my culinary instructors, hey, Chef Rogers, used to say there ain't no such thing as a little burnt. So what I want to do is I'm going to get this simmering. I'm going to stir it occasionally while I'm zesting and juicing my lemons and measuring out my spices and all of that good stuff. I'm just going to let this sit here and do its thing. And then we will come back to it, measure out what we need to make the actual jam, and go on from there. So, back. Okay, now we're going to juice the lemons. So what I like to do, see, I've already zested, but I'm not going to waste this lemon. I'm going to use the juice of it right now. And the way I like to do that, this is pretty firm at the moment, but I want to break up the cells of the lemon by pressing down and rolling. And I feel it softening. You should be able to feel the same when you do this. Now we have a very soft and pliable, and I'm just going to slice that right in half. Now, I've got this little strainer. I think I got this off the Jungle River store. Okay. Why do I have this here? I want to catch those seeds that are in the lemon. I could, you've seen me in the past, squeeze it in my hand and let the juice fall out. I can do that, but I just want to be a little cleaner today. And look, one popped out and went right inside. So we will strain that again. So I will continue doing this until I finish with all the lemons. There you go. If you ever get tired of squeezing the lemons, get your handy dandy chef tongs and just put them in like that. I'm right-handed, so I need to do it this way. And then you can use that to squeeze. Because this strainer is so small, I'm turning it up so I can catch most of that juice. Then once I get that part, I can come back up top a little easier. That is so much easier on your hands. My mentor taught me that, Chef McAfee. How you doing, Chef Mac? Now I'm just going to use a ladle, and I am going to stir this and measure out exactly what I need. So this will be per the recipe, how much of this you'll need. If you don't need all of it, you can certainly freeze this. Let's see where I'm at. Now, after I've measured it out, I'm going to return it back to the pot. I am actually making more than the recipe you'll see calls for, because I had plenty of extra tomatoes that I needed to use. All right, now we're going to start making the jam, and I'm going to start adding my spices. By the way, I've started this reheating now. I'm going to bring it to a boil as part of this process, but I don't want to start out on a super high heat because it could scorch the bottom. So I'm going to start it out a little slow, bring it up to a simmer. But in the meantime, I'm going to add my spices. I have allspice here. I have some cinnamon. This is ground cloves. Actually, that may be the allspice. I don't know. And I like mine a little spicy, so I've got some red pepper flakes. And then I've got my lemon zest, but I'm going to save that till later. So now I'm just going to stir these in. I want to make sure they're thoroughly incorporated. And then I'm just going to bring this up to a boil. And then we'll add our lemon juice. Now I'm actually going to add the lemon juice. I'm going to strain it, keep the seeds out. Now I'm going to add my pectin. For every 3 cups of liquid I have, I'm going to use 1 box of pectin. So now what you want to do is you want to sprinkle your pectin over the top without getting it all dumped in one spot. Stir that in to completely dissolve it. Bring it to a vigorous boil for at least 1 minute. Vigorous means that when you stir it, it doesn't go away. Now you add all of your sugar at one time and then stir that to completely dissolve the sugar and return that to the boil. You want to boil that anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. Now what I want to do is ladle off the foam that's forming. This is edible, nothing wrong with it. It just looks ugly in your jar when especially you don't want to give this as a gift, and the first thing you see is this foam on here. And now I'm going to add in my zest. Okay, now we're going to ladle this into the jars. And by the way, this is when you want to be extra, very special careful, because this is a hot, sugary, very syrupy type of liquid. And if it gets on your skin, it will absolutely stick. So I'm just going to ladle this out into my prepared jars. Well, all right, my friends, we've had success with our tomato jam, our spiced tomato jam. I've checked all the seals. All the seals are good, so we are happy about that. You can see it's got a nice set. It's a spreadable set. It's not completely hard like a rock, and it's not running all over the place. It's very spreadable. So before I give this a taste test, my favorite time of the day, what would you use something like this on? Well, I use this when I do my charcuterie boards for catering, so please check that out. But also, this goes great on all kinds. You could do it on meats and crackers and cheeses. One of my favorite things to do is when I make a grilled cheese sandwich, is to spread a little bit on the inside. When I lay my cheese down and grill it with that, it is so good. So that's what I'm going to do. So Listen, I'll quit pontificating. Let me just get this thing open and taste it. So we have a pint jar here, and I'll pop the lid on that. It was a nice tight seal. So you have my handy dandy spoon. Oh, the smell is just, oh my goodness. By the way, because of the spices we use, it immediately takes me to Christmas, right? The holiday season, Christmas season. I can't get over how good that smells. That's really terrific. Let me get this. So we see we have a nice, let's see if I can get this nice runny, not runny, but spreadable set. And I smell it all the time, but every time it's just amazing. So here we go. Oh, oh, that is worthy of a happy dance, my friend. Well, this is my jar now, so I'm going in a second time, double dipping on this one. That is so stinking good. Guys, whether you have an abundance of tomatoes or you're shopping just to cook this, by all means, go to the local farmer's market, get some local tomatoes, and enjoy the fresh bounty of the garden. This is where it's at right here. You will amaze your friends. You'll be the hero of the party if you bring this with a nice cheese tray or a small charcuterie board. This is the deal right here. So listen, guys, thank you for joining me as I went through some extra amount of Arkansas tomatoes, and happy I did. So you give this a try. Let me know in the comments how you do, what you think about it. And remember this, a day in the kitchen beats a day of working any day. We'll see you next time on the Chef Lance Show.